Hello and welcome to the Passion Driven Pioneers interview series. I'm your host, John Channon, and today I'm joined by Tim Suggs, who is the owner of Turbo Tim's Anything Automotive. Tim, thank you so much for joining us today.
Thank you for having me.
Great. Would you like to kick us off with just a brief background as to who you are, what you do, and then the business that you're in?
Yeah, so I'm in the business of automotive repair. I also say my side business is building communities. We do a lot of fun community events, kind of fueled by our passion for automotive repair. And yeah,
So, so maybe what types of community events do you guys do?
all kinds of stuff. As when I started out young, I kind of did events kind of catered to things my age. Art festivals and music festival things. And as I got older, I got a family. We started doing more like RC car events. We kind of have our big block party thing at one of our stores, which is called Crush a Whirl, where I drive a big army truck over like maybe six cars. Super cool. It changes kids' minds when they get to see something exciting like that. It's like a pretty cool, rare thing that not many people would get to see a truck drive over six cars. So, yeah.
So, why did you decide to do community events as part of your business model?
Honestly, one of our core values is fun. Well, it's community care, innovation, trust. And so, it's just part of our core value. Like, community is a huge part of us. Fun is a huge part of us. I like having the family environment in our stores. It really just feels like we're not just a job. I really don't want this a job for people. I wanted a place where people want to work and they want to have fun and they enjoy coming to work and they enjoy being part of a movement that's like doing cool stuff, doing stuff in the community, not just fixing cars. That's just such a small part of what it's a big part of what we do, but it's not the only part.
That's great. So talk to me about what was the spark that led you to want to kind of start your own business and start your own business in this area?
Yeah, I talked to you about this earlier, and I'm kind of unemployable. So I'm an entrepreneur. I don't like to follow rules. I'm a crazy dude. I worked for a shop and it worked okay. And I kind of didn't, if I don't like how things work, I am very vocal about it. I enjoy healthy friction, which is what we definitely have on our team. There's a good healthy friction that a lot of people have to get used to because I'm very unconventional, but it's work. But yeah, I worked for a place. In the end, I was like worked at this place. I saw people standing around. I saw people just doing whatever. I saw not the best like customer service, and I was like, I could try doing this by myself. Uh, had a little money, opened a shop. Really, I just wanted a shop where we could just, fix cars and work on our own stuff and kind of just have fun. So we just kind of started out that way and it kind of just kept growing and it didn't happen overnight. We'll just say that. So,
So talk to us a little bit about what it was like at the beginning of this, right? What were some of the things you did really well, and then what were some of the things you realized that maybe you needed support for?
yeah, I got a lot to talk about that I might talk about at the end, but I was very good at building a huge customer base. I had great customer service. I think people liked that I was different. I remember when I first started out, I was like, I just got to be like everybody's shop and just kind of get kind of established. And then as I started figuring out stuff, I kind of was able to kind of do outside of the box things and kind of be non-traditional. And so once I started doing that, it was kind of just became more fun. But yeah, it was, I've been in business. I started when I was 23. I've been in business for almost 20 years now. And it, the the first 10 years, I didn't know what I was doing and I didn't make any money. And we had a huge customer base and we were doing 3 million in sales, but I literally had zero in the bank account and struggled to make, rent every month. I had to throw music festivals at the end of the month to, pay rent, and we got by. I managed to get by figuring it out on my own, but it's very hard to figure out on your own.
So what'd you do to kind of figure that out on your own, right? What was, you mentioned you were making quite a bit of revenue, but really not enough profit to cover some stuff. And
Yeah, yeah. I mean, really learning from other people. Like I ended up about year 10, somewhere around there. I got my first coach and I really started to understand the numbers and understand what the numbers meant, and learned about P&Ls. And back then I didn't know anything about P&Ls. And today, I mean, I know so much more than I did back then, but I wouldn't say I'm like an expert or anything. I can figure out what moves the needle and where we need to go and all that stuff, but I'm not I just my attention span for that stuff is not, it's not always there. It's not my passion. So, but I got good people in my organization who are passionate about that. Like I really believe, like I started this business and I did everything. And what you want, and this is totally a hard thing to get to, but you want everyone in your organization to be better than you. And the only thing I'm good at is coming up with dumb ideas and really steering the ship in a good forward momentum. That's I have real unrealistic aspirations sometimes, but I do what we can to get there, and I'm not afraid of failure. Like, and I'm not afraid of trying something. I truly believe like failure is a gift where you learn something. And uh, I have had lots of gifts in my life, and I've had a lot of successes in my life.
so is it safe to say we're no longer throwing musical festivals to fund the business?
We keep talking about that, but we have, yeah, maybe one day. So yeah.
Oh,
So,
that's great.
yeah.
So talk to us a little bit about what it was like at the beginning. Kind of, was there a work-life balance,
Is this
and how
okay
did
that I
you?
got this guy chilling here?
Yeah, no big deal.
Okay. He adds to the effect or to the
So,
story.
so talk about that work-life balance at the beginning and kind of what it might look like now, or how has it changed?
Yeah, there was no work-life balance in the first 10 years. It was just all work. I mean, it was hard. Like I found my wife in my shop because I didn't have much of a social life. Like she was a customer, and it took me many years to finally land her. And yeah, so it was
That's kind of a cool story.
it is a cool story, yeah. And she was an interesting customer because she questioned automotive a lot. I think she had gotten burned in the past from an automotive experience or two, and she was one of those customers who questions everything. Is kind of difficult, but we worked through it. And I've learned, over the years, the customers who question the most, if you can win them over, they are lifers and they are committed to you and they trust you. And, we kind of learn a lot from just those customers.
I know from our earlier conversation, you mentioned how the use of technology is helping you guys communicate with the customers and point out challenges. Was it the experiences you had with those tougher customers asking those more questions that led you that direction?
I'm going to sidetrack that a little bit. So, just because you bring up technology, we can get back to that. But I think I was one of the first people, now it's common practice to text customers in the automotive field. But back then I had Google Voice, and this was, probably 10, 15 years ago when it first came out. I started using Google Voice and it was super easy. It was just a checklist of voicemails. I could text the voicemails back, I could call the voicemails back, and it was really great. And I think, a lot of automotive shops are kind of antiquated and outdated on just technology, especially back then. I mean, now I think it's starting to get modernized. And so that was a huge path for growth for us was just being able to text customers, especially when it was just me. Like, you talk about work-life balance. You're just working all day, and the few minutes you have to sit down and interact and engage with your customers and text them back, schedule all that stuff. That was a huge thing. But back to your original question, which was what was your original question?
I was asking you if, experiences with those more difficult customers or the customers that not are difficult, but asked a lot of questions, what
Yeah.
led you to continue to evolve some of what you were doing with respect to digital imagery and
Yeah,
showing.
yeah. Transparency. Yeah, yep. Yeah, transparency was a huge thing for us. We do what's called a digital vehicle inspection. Oh, someone's calling. We do what's called a digital vehicle inspection. It's becoming more and more mainstream, but we make sure we do it on every car, and you actually physically take pictures of the car, of what's wrong with the car. And so really, like, there is only two choices for a customer. Like, they either can't afford to do the repair, or they just, they just wouldn't understand. And when you why to do the repair, but when you take good pictures, then they it's really like they trust that you are being honest with them, that you're showing them. And that's why, like, then it really becomes the one issue, like, is it worth it for them to do it, and do they have the money to do that? And so that's been a huge helper for us, just being transparent.
So, kind of building on that, what are some of the things you are doing to remain innovative in the space?
Yeah, right now, as we grow our business, we have 4 stores, and they're bigger stores. There's a lot of service writers, a lot of technicians. We get a lot of calls, and we're really trying to dial in our processes on phones. And AI can be a tool that is not good. Everyone hates when they call and you get the AI person. I don't think we'll ever do that. But right now, we use AI to figure out, like, uh, huge call volumes and what calls are working and keywords and triggers. And so that's like kind of the next movement that's coming with AI, kind of, I think, in the automotive field, is just easier for managers to audit calls, train their service advisors, just make sure they're, like, asking the right questions. We find out, like, a car can come in and you can fix what's broken, but some customers, they're at a point in their life, they love their car, and if you ask them if they want to do maintenance, some people, they do want to do maintenance. They believe in it. They know it's good for their car. They know it helps. And so they'll do it if you ask. And we've found just a lot of times, just we're not asking the right questions. We're not giving the right options. And yeah,
Oh, that's good.
yeah.
So let's talk about the future. Would you offer maybe a little glimpse into your future plans and goals you have for your business?
Yeah, my one thing right now is not to sell to private equity. That's like a huge thing in the automotive industry. Like, uh, everyone, I'm in a lot of coaching groups, a lot of peer-to-peer groups, a lot of networking groups, and a lot of them talk about building their business to sell to private equity. And we have a strong value in that we really want to, we're doing something special. We have all these community events. We really engage with the community. We're trying to be a part of the community. And I know if we sold the PE, that would immediately get stripped. Luckily, I'm young enough. I think I can build enough of a foundation where hopefully I can pass it on to a kid. I do have 2 kids, and I hope they'll love it. Yeah, or I can pass it on to someone who I feel like will hold the same beliefs and values we have. So, yeah,
That's a great vision for the future.
yeah.
So appreciate you sharing that. So Tim, knowing that this show is going to be targeted towards people that are going to be maybe starting up a business or in their first few years of business, do you have any final thoughts or words of advice you'd like to share with our audience today?
Yeah, back to going to coaching. Like, I would not be where I'm at without coaching. You do not know what you do not know. And you can figure it out on your own. But trust me, there are so many people who have done this before. There are so many people who have failed and learned and have stories to tell. And if you can just lean on those people, that will make you just light years ahead of what your original own potential could be. So definitely I would lean into coaching groups, learn as much as you can, talk to as many people as you can, get as much advice from everybody else because there's a lot of smart people out there and it's lonely at the top. When you're the only one at the top and you don't have anyone else to ask questions to, it's lonely up there and it's hard and yeah. And I'm starting, we have our marketing guy, Kevin. We've had good marketing on our own and we've learned a lot on our own. And we have a good brand, so we haven't needed marketing. But now as we, open stores quicker and quicker, we're really having to lean into marketing. And so we finally got like kind of a coach, kind of not a consultant, but someone basically outside who does marketing on our team to really help us do what we do best with our brand, but have some experience that we can lean into as to best practices. Because we don't want to the biggest thing that gets in the way of great is good, and we don't want to just be good. We want to be great. We want to keep improving our systems and we want to make our marketing the most efficient spend because in the end, it costs a customer money for us to market, or it costs us money to market, and that's takes from our community events, some of our other internal things, perks and stuff for the employees. So we've really got to learn to be efficient, and I think that's what makes a difference between a good business and a great business is they're just the most efficient of use of their money.
That's great. Well, listen, thank you so much for your time today, Tim.
Yeah, thank you for having me. It was super fun, and I hope I inspire people. And yeah,
Yeah, it's great meeting you, learn more about your entrepreneurial journey and your commitment to the community.
yeah,
And
yeah.
to
Can I
every,
plug my YouTube channel?
oh yeah, plug it right now.
Yeah, yeah. We also have a YouTube channel. It's kind of about running a shop and some of the fun stuff we do. It's Turbo Tim's Does It Big. You can just kind of see more of the fun stuff we do.
Oh, that sounds cool. I'm gonna have to check that out.
Yeah.
All right, to everyone watching, I look forward to seeing you in our next episode.